Namaste, friends. We are back with our second podcast, and this time the topic is child rights. Let me first introduce you to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Vedahi Subramani. She is a former chairperson of Child Welfare Committee and former social member, Juvenile Justice Board. Welcome, Vedahi ma'am. It is a pleasure to have you on our podcast. By the way, friends, one more thing I would like to add here. She is not just a former member and a social member, but she is a very important and integral part of my life. She has been my mentor throughout my master's. So I am really happy to have you here, ma'am. So, ma'am, this was my welcome to you. Now, I would request you, could you please share a brief about yourself? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm very happy that you started your organization. You are growing well. My best wishes to you for further laurels also.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And I am actually belong to Tamil Nadu. About 2 decades back, we came to Delhi. Then I started working as a honorary director with Akshay Pradishtan. It's a school with children with disabilities and able-bodied children. And today is the day of International Children's with Disabilities Day.
Oh,
So wishes for your audience also a happy Persons with Disabilities Day. Universally, it is celebrated on 3rd December, and you really coincided very, very well.
yeah.
And after serving for more than 12 years, I joined Child Welfare Committee as a chairperson at Southeast Delhi. Then I also served as a social member at Juvenile Justice Board. Again, I had the chance to work with the Child Welfare Committee as a chairperson for a third tenure. Last December, I finished my tenures and I am now doing partial retirement jobs, engaging with few institutions of child rights and child protection domains. And I also go as resource persons for schools on JJ Act and POXO stations also. And of course, I enrich my knowledge in spiritual studies along with my professional engagements. And
It's one.
my friends call me as a globetrotter. I love travel. That also is going on side by side. This
Ma'am, I
is
would
my
like
brief
to know how
introduction.
many countries have you been till date?
As per my Facebook, 47 countries.
That's great, ma'am. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am, you spoke a lot of terms which I'm sure the common layman might not understand. But to start with, you spoke about child rights. So, ma'am, could you tell us what exactly are child rights?
Yeah. Actually, child rights, see, India, we have signed for UNCRC, United Nations Child Rights Protection.
Right.
So we are abiding the UN nations. So basically, I would highlight four child rights. First is survival rights. The child has to be protected, survive first
Correct.
at the first instance. And second is how the child develop its rights. That's called we call developmental rights.
Okay.
Then we have to have the protection rights. Once a child develops from home to school and everything, how the protection rights are taking it. And after the protection rights, we have to come to participation rights. The child is growing, the child has the participation rights. So we have these four domains of survival, development, and protection. And the last is participation rights.
Okay.
Because we may wonder what is the survival rights. Because in India, we have a gender-based
Hmm.
patriarchal society.
Absolutely.
Even girl child coming out of the womb itself is a big challenge.
Hmm.
So the survival rate starts from that only. So
Okay.
we have laws for that also. And we have to have a good health care for the child. And we must have basic rights for the child's
Okay.
food, shelter, and health care. So
Correct.
that comes in the entire survival rights.
Okay.
And if you talk about development rights, definitely the education parts, the child has to grow in education, in play, leisure, and other co curricular activities. So, development rights, the physical development, mental development, emotional well being, and spiritual well being. So, the entire things groups together, you form the development rights,
Hmm.
and of course the participation rights and protection rights. The protection rights, when it comes to, no child should be abused, no child marriage, no child labor, no sexual exploitation. All that child has to be protected from all the abuse and neglect and abandonment, deserted. All these things should be avoided for the child. And we must protect the child from all these angles. So
Hmm.
these are the basic rights that we have to enshrine in the law, and we must protect the children from all these rights,
Hmm.
basically. And all these rights are based on the principles like best interest of the child.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when we start protecting, we must keep the child in centric, the child at first.
Okay.
We have to lens through only the child's angle only. It is not my best interest or anything. What the child requires at that point of time. So
Hmm.
that is called the best interest. So
Okay.
that is very important. The best interest is the key word for the entire child protection and child rights area.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Thank you so
So
much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for enlightening us. Ma'am, could you, like, you and I, we are from the social work background and well aware of another terminology that you use was CWC, where you have worked for quite a long period. So, would you please tell our audience what exactly is this institution CWC stands for and what is their role in child rights? Thank you.
yeah, CWC is called Child Welfare Committee, and it is formed under Juvenile Justice Act. And this act is a primary act for the children's rights and protection, and even the children who are abused in the conflict also, they are also covered under Juvenile Justice Act only. So this is a 5-member body, one chairperson, and along with 4 members.
Okay.
So they are selected through a state selection committee by the concerned women and child development, or as per the state governments, the department who is concerned about women and child will select the members. They have a 3 years tenures.
Okay.
So that is the thing. And the age criteria to become a child welfare committee member is above 35 and below 65. So the age criteria is there.
The ones, those who
And
are a part of it.
part of it.
Okay.
And they need to be a postgraduate in either in social work or education
Hmm.
or in medical field or in disability rights or in legal rights or in public administrations. So
Okay.
these are all the qualifications. Along with that, they must work with the children for minimum of 7 years. So
Okay.
they are qualified to apply for the post. The advertisement will come in the paper. They will, through state selection committee, they'll be screened and they'll be selected, and they'll be appointed for 3 years of term only.
Okay. So, ma'am,
So,
what I perceive from your explanation that it
mm,
can we also say that CWC is almost like a small court for children?
we won't call it a court, it is a quasi judiciary body.
Okay.
Our, we take care of children who are in need and care of protection only.
Okay.
Okay, so children in need of care and protection, in short, we call CNCP.
Okay.
Children in need of care and protection only. So the children who are neglected,
Hmm.
who are abandoned,
Hmm.
or who come in the child labor cases,
Hmm.
or who are sexually exploited or sexually abused, or
Hmm.
child marriages cases, or sometimes children run away from the homes also
Okay.
due to so many stress or some these things also. Or sometimes children go out of the way, they forget the route and they end up in somewhere. We
Okay.
call them missing children.
Hmm.
And sometimes some parents or mother, due to out of wedlock or anything, the child is there, they really desert in the hospital or in the any kudadan or anything.
Hmm.
And those children, any child who is to have a care, who need, who has the need, and who has to be protected.
Hmm.
All these 3 conditions will be produced in the child welfare committee.
Okay.
And every district has got one child welfare committee. Throughout India,
Hmm.
all the districts have got one child welfare committee.
Okay. So, ma'am, would it be correct to say that the process is almost the same? Like in generally, what happens when we file a complaint in a police station, the case goes to the court and the judge takes care of it. Similar way, in case of children, the case comes to child welfare committee. Is that correct? And you sort
Uh,
the issues and try to provide a solution.
Yeah, I'll just correct it little
Yeah,
because the
sure.
court is different where the adults face all the trials and everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
But here, the children who are victims of crimes,
Okay.
they are produced in the child welfare committee.
Okay, they themselves have not committed any sort of a crime,
Yes, they
is
are
what you're saying.
victims of crimes.
Yeah, okay, okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much, ma'am.
But children who
Hmm.
are allegedly committed
Hmm.
will be produced in the Juvenile Justice Board.
Oh, that's great.
That is called
Yeah.
CCL, we call
Hmm.
children in conflict with law.
Okay, actually, my next question is related to that only. Thank you for
Yeah.
so much, first of all, for a wonderful explanation. I think everyone has got a good understanding of what CWC is. Now, it would be great if you can tell us about the Juvenile Justice Board, which again you have been spent a lot of time over Juvenile Justice Board. So, what exactly it is, and how they work, and how you were a part of it, that would really be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, in CWC, we have 5 member body, I said.
Okay.
In Juvenile Justice Board, it's only 3 member body.
Okay.
So the principal magistrate is a judiciary part of it, judicial officer.
Yeah.
The other 2 members are from the social background only. They are
Okay.
called social members.
Okay.
3 of them will form the Juvenile Justice Board.
Okay.
The children who are allegedly committed
Mm-hmm.
either a petty offense or a serious offense or a heinous offense are produced in the Juvenile Justice Board. Their cases will be run through that court only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So if I bifurcate, CWC is the places for victims, and Juvenile Justice Board is the place for those who have committed some sort of a crime.
Yes,
Right?
who are committed, allegedly committed,
Hmm.
we
Okay.
won't say straight away committed
Okay.
because the principle of innocence is the primary principle of JJ Act.
Yeah, I completely agree. Until and unless one has been convicted,
Freed.
is not considered to be a criminal. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that follows in place of adults also. That I
Yes.
completely agree with you. So, it can we also say that CWC and JJB, they go hand in hand with each other? Do they have any
Uh,
sort of a connection?
no, no. Actually, each district has to have a JJB in
Just
them.
like
Eh,
CWC.
Yeah, like CWC.
Hmm.
And they may not go hand in hand,
Hmm.
but in case if we have a crimes, the POXO victim is with us, sexual
Hmm.
abuse,
Hmm.
child is with that,
Hmm.
that alleged boy is in the JJB. And if
Okay.
we want to move any application for compensation or anything,
Okay.
then we can move to the Juvenile Justice Board.
Okay.
It is like that
So
for
it
any
is
help or
connected,
anything.
but not directly, but
Not
partially, we
like
can
that.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suppose, in other words, also, if we want to make any file a FIR,
Okay.
first information report, that CWC wants to file any FIR,
Hmm.
then we have to contact the Juvenile Justice Board to initiate the proceedings.
Okay. You cannot directly do it through
We
the.
cannot do it through Juvenile Justice Board. We can do it.
Perfect. Yeah, ma'am, you also mentioned about POXO Act. So
Yes.
we know lately there have been a lot of cases, and this terminology POXO has Act has appeared a number of times in the newspaper, and people are talking about it. But I'm sure people are not well aware of it. So could you just tell us more in detail? Because the major purpose of today's podcast was also not just telling about what are child rights, but how what exactly this POXO Act is, which is very prevalent in nowadays. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
See, the POXO Act, people actually misnomer as POSCO Act also.
Yes, yes, I have seen people mispronounce it.
Mispronounce also. It
Yeah.
is only POXO Act. This is Protection of Children from Sexual Offense Act.
Okay.
And it was enacted in 2012. It's almost now 10, more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
And a lot of again new amendment has also come in 2022 also after the state consultation and other things also. So this POXO Act is primarily works for the both the gender, like boys and girls and other genders also. Because we normally say sexual exploitation is there only with girls, but it is not so.
Not at all.
Because there was a survey conducted by the Minister of Women and Child Development. So in the survey result was more boys were exploited than girls.
Okay.
So a lot of myth that only girls are being exploited, it is not so.
Hmm.
So boys are also equally vulnerable in the
Hmm.
child sexual abuse. This is one point that audience or your viewer will come to know it also.
Yes.
And of course, third gender also.
Hmm.
So these children, I mean, gender neutral is the main point of the POXO Act only. And in the POXO Act, we call it as sexual assault, we call sexual harassment, and we also called child pornography. Now, the child pornography word is not much recommended.
Hmm.
The new word in the Supreme Court they have said is child sexual exploitative and abusive material. CSAM they call it.
Okay.
So if we say assault means something of penetrative in nature.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
If it is aggravated means it is by the close people,
Okay.
by the trusted people,
A
by
relative or
officials
something.
like
Yeah.
police,
Hmm.
like father or incest within the family,
Okay.
known persons, or one authoritative,
Okay.
where those persons are abusing a child, then it becomes an aggravated sexual
Hmm. Hmm.
assault.
Yeah.
So when you come to sexual assault is non-penetrative.
Hmm.
It is. And again, aggravated means again the trusted people only.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the non-penetrative may be of involving any material
Hmm.
or exposing the private parts, ask the child to expose the private parts.
Hmm.
All that will come in this category only.
Hmm.
And of course, the sexual exploitative materials will come under the pornography.
Hmm.
And all these will have stringent punishments in the POXO Act,
Okay.
because the recent amendment, the minimum of 3 years to death penalty. So that is a range it has been given.
Hmm.
And the bail is not very easily available for such cases.
Hmm.
And moreover, the child victim is given a lot of importance here.
Hmm.
And throughout the case and throughout the proceedings, we have child-friendly procedures,
Okay.
right from recording of the statement,
Hmm.
or in medical, or in child being produced in child welfare committee, or in JJB,
Hmm.
or in the children's court, or in the POXO court. The child friendly procedures is followed, so that at any time that a child will not be traumatized again. Or
Hmm.
so that is the main crux of this POXO Act only, because at any stage the alleged accused and the child will not be meeting also. So we have got what we call as a vulnerable witness room in the court procedures,
Okay.
so that the child will be seeing through camera only. The alleged accused will not be able to see.
Hmm.
And the judges and even the public prosecutors are experienced. They are very sensitive. They have been given trainings how to handle such situation, what type of questions can be put. So every now and then the trainings are being imparted by the people. So
Okay.
that no, everything will be on the child-friendly procedures, so
Hmm.
that the child will not traumatize again the same this thing also. And we have got special courts also. And another important thing is here the mandatory reporting is the one of the another important point here.
Hmm.
So if anything that happens, suppose a child that comes and says the mother something has happened, that the mother may not know the nuances of how to apply, but she cannot keep quiet. She must be able to wake up. She must be able to be a whistleblower only.
Okay.
Suppose at any circumstance the mother suppresses that, but sometime later it can manifest.
Okay.
And by any inquiry, if we come to know the mother is aware of the fact she is suppressed, then mother is also booked under POXO Act.
Because she tried to manipulate
Yeah,
that
she tries.
particular.
It may be out of innocence or out of anything also.
Okay. So nobody can
Like
do
that,
it. Yeah.
like that, a child comes and tells a school teacher
Hmm.
or a counselor
Hmm.
during any sessions. They have to mandatory report to the concerned police station, concerned special juvenile police unit also. We call SJPU.
Ma'am, I have a question related to this. Like you said, it is mandatory for the teacher or for the counselor or for XYZ person,
Anybody,
whoever
yes,
has been informed about the abuse. So, if let's say they are scared, they do not want their identity to be disclosed. So, is it possible that they can still
yes,
report about it, but
yeah, it is
stay
possible.
under the wraps?
Yeah, because a confidentiality clause apply not only to the child, it can be for the whistleblower also.
Okay. So
So
they
there is no
will be
problem.
provided
Yeah,
protection that they will not be
yeah,
harmed or anyone will not raise fingers over on
nothing.
them. Yeah.
They are very protected well.
Okay, ma'am, I have another question. It is actually very upfront, but please share with me, has there been instances where people have misused this POXO Act? Can you give any real life example where it happened? You witnessed something?
No, I was, I maybe I'll come to that later.
Sure,
But the POXO acts are being misused
for sure.
because there's a huge compensation is available.
Okay.
Interim compensation is
Hmm, hmm,
available,
hmm.
and off late, due to discord, marital discord,
Hmm.
this POXO has been used by the families.
Okay. So the
So
parents are
the
misusing this
parents,
act
either
because
mother or
children.
father,
Okay.
so they keep the child as a tool
Hmm.
to fasten or to make their diverse case stronger.
Hmm.
This is somewhat used. This we have seen in our CWC.
That's I'm speechless. I thought that people are
Sometimes,
using from different
yeah,
aspects.
it happens. There are a lot of POXO cases are happened, but we can't be judgmental. Once it is registered, when there is no taken back, you can't take the case back. It just go through the entire procedures only.
Procedure. So, ma'am, in
Yeah,
this scenario, if you come across and it is proved that they are misusing it, what is the repercussion?
the court will decide.
So the court will decide. So there
Court will decide.
definitely there must be some stringent action against
Then
it.
even if it is a false reporting, the child has to go through all the procedures. The child will have trauma. So she will be ever a victim only in this case.
He or
He or
she.
she will be a
Correct.
victim only.
No, that's a very bad thing to
Yeah,
happen.
because the POXO gives the equal importance for rehabilitation, for medical care, for compensation, for psychosocial support,
Hmm.
and what we call as PTSD, post-stress traumatic disorders. So all these things are given. The victims are given support, what we call support person, which is appointed by the child welfare committee when the
Okay.
child is being produced in the child welfare committee.
Okay.
So they may be from a trustworthy person of a child,
Hmm.
or there are organizations work as support persons.
Okay.
So they to provide not only psychosocial support and other case related help also, and they also legally represent the child in the court also.
Okay. Ma'am, referring to again the POXO Act, another question which came to my mind is that what is the rate of success? Like, how many cases are being solved? And also, following it, another thing, what is the, have you been provided any certain guidelines, like within this span of time, the case should be solved?
Yeah, it is there. Mandatory timeline is there. And because all the courts are heavily loaded also, and you
Correct.
have separate POXO trial case courts, fast track courts, we call it.
Correct.
But sometimes the evidence and everything takes place lot of time also.
Hmm.
So, but as far as possible, the judiciary is clearing their backlog only.
Okay.
But that I cannot comment
No,
also.
no, I'm
But
absolutely fine with it.
yeah,
But yes,
that is
there
there.
is definitely.
There is. Because
And
the child, suppose that today the case is registered,
hmm,
the child has to go for testimony. It may come even after 6 months. The
hmm,
child may not know what happened that day also.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
So that may go against the case also.
Right. No, I
So
absolutely
yeah,
agree with that.
so that is there.
And followed by it, I and had another question. What is in your experience, what is the success rate of POXO Act after introduction of POXO Act? Do you see a major shift in the overall way the justice is being provided?
No, I will take the question in other way.
Sure.
Because the POXO Act, a lot of awareness is there,
Hmm.
but the silence is broken.
Okay. That's one
So,
thing.
so the awareness is there. Otherwise, what the child used to think, this is normal, or this is happening only to me, I need not speak.
Hmm.
All that silence, whether silence at the family level or the silence at the child level,
Hmm.
it is being broken now. So they are now able to vocalize. They are able to have an agency to speak.
Okay.
That is so that they don't have to what do you call feel guilt about it, and there are systems available, there are professionals available to help you, so the child is getting benefited.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
nice, ma'am. That's really nice to know. But still, I would say, like, do you think that people are really able to benefit from all these rights?
Yeah, because the more awareness is there and because of the awareness, more cases are filed now. It is not more cases are happening.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
have to very more cases are being filed.
Now that you are saying, so in the present scenario, as you're saying, people are aware. So how many people, if I say you have to give a percentage and approximate, how many people are aware of these child rights?
No, child rights, what is child rights in detail, technically they may not aware of it,
Hmm.
but they know the protection part of it.
So,
If child is being abused, they want justice for the child. So
okay.
they go to the pillar where to go and knock the door.
So we can say people may not be knowing the definition of child rights, but they definitely know how to exactly use those child rights.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really nice to know and gain such a meaningful information. Now, ma'am, would you like to share some message for our audience?
Yeah. See, but this podcast is only tip of the iceberg, I must say. So you have a lot of things. If you want to have a series, I mean, a good knowledge to reach your people, you must have number of podcast on child welfare responsibilities. What is
Absolutely.
childcare institutions? What
Absolutely.
is observation homes? What is special home? So all this, what is JJB? What is special court? And what is children's court? All that, and what type of children who are coming to the child welfare committee,
Hmm.
and child marriage, child labor cases like that. Each one has got different scenario of that. But as a message, if I want to give you to your videos is that every child definitely requires a nurturing and a conducive environment without any exploitation. No crime should be done to any child. So
Absolutely.
for that, we should not be a mute spectators. We must rise above. And as I previously said, silence. We must break the silence. Come forward, and wherever it is possible, you can contact the district child protection unit or child line, or there are a lot of awareness portal from NCPCR, from state commission levels, and UN organization, Ministry of Women and Child Development website. You get to know all the details through all these things. A lot of, I mean, media is very powerful media. Social media is also there, television and everything. So people are getting knowledge, but to go into deep, they can refer all these tools and all this information, and they can get it. And every school has got a POXO committee.
Okay.
So yeah, as a mandatory by the CBSE things,
Hmm.
every school has got a POXO committee where one of the parent is also there, NGO is also there. So the mandatorily the teachers and non-teaching staff are getting trained what is POXO, how to mandatory report is, and how to identify a child is undergoing the problems, and all that are being given in trainings to all the schools also. So it is being now expanding and expanding. And a lot of NGOs are working in the grassroots level. Like you have taken a podcast, like that people are direct working and direct awareness to the people. So it is happening. So it has to be go on like that only.
Right.
Then only every child will be protected very well in this society.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think you have enlightened us. Now, I just hope people literally break their silence.
Yeah.
So that is very, very important because the way it is said now today, India is polio free. So I
Yeah.
just pray to God that one day we are just free from all sorts of exploitation,
Yes.
abuse for every child. And
Yes.
child means because we are talking about the growing years, so definitely if the growing years itself will be happy, then adulthood will be happy.
They
So
are the future. So we have to protect them.
absolutely. If the present is happy, future will definitely be good. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, friends. So, like ma'am said, she already said that we need to have a series of podcasts. So if you are interested that on various child issues, we should create podcasts. So please comment and like and share our videos and tell us what type of issues you would like us to prepare a podcast on. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.